What's up, guys? Studfit here. Happy holidays. I'm joined by my good friend Antilev. Welcome, Antilev. How are you doing, man?
I'm doing great. Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays. Whatever you celebrate is awesome.
Yeah, it's one of your favorite times of the year. I think it's one of those times where it's like it's so joyful everywhere and everyone's singing, and there's other times where money might be tight, or you got to get presents for people. You can't be everywhere at once, and then it's one of those times of year. It's very unique. Overall, though, the positivity always wins out. I think just it's a time to be merry, time to be jolly, time to be around family, time to be around friends, and time to be playing Mario Kart Tour. This is a fun tour that we have here with us, and I'm excited to get into it all. But before we do, I have to give a huge shout out to the other family I have, which is the Stud fam. So grateful to have everyone here. Special shout out to Larry98, who's done a lot of the stuff that happens behind the scenes. Also shout out to Draco655, who won our Member Multiplayer Monday contest last month. So we have him shout out there in blue. And then Bobcat won our Action Count. He's our Action Count King back-to-back, which has not really ever happened since the first 2 weeks. So big shout out to Bobcat and what he's done there. And everyone here in the member list, this is not fully updated, but I've been focusing all my attention on the very special award ceremony survey that we got live yesterday, Friday to be exact. So if you have not yet, go out and answer the survey. I think as of right now, which is like Saturday afternoon, Saturday evening, we have about 350 people respond. I'd love to see if we can get to 1,000 by Tuesday morning. Tuesday morning is when I'll shut it down, and then we'll Antilev, myself, Carlos, and Kart Life will all, for our second annual award ceremony, be recording later that afternoon. So I'm so excited to get into the date. I've already taken some sneak peeks, and it's pretty exciting stuff. I can't wait to do it. So there will be a link in the description to that survey. If you haven't yet, definitely fill out that survey. I've been posting it to Reddit, posting it on other surveys, trying to get the word out there, because really it's not about the algorithm, it's not about this channel, it's about you guys, what you guys think. So if you want your voice heard, definitely fill out that survey, and I'm excited to get into all of that. So much fun. And if you haven't already, please like this video, and I'm sure you're already subscribed, but these videos come out at different times every tour, so there's a little notification bell that'll let you know when these videos are released because of things like this. Also, yesterday I released a couple other videos. There is a there was a new discovery yesterday, specifically about how to get rid of badgeless bots. So you'll see a video there. It's kind of interesting. We'll see how long it lasts, and then also post a little video on the coverage optimizer from a turtle dude. So I'm trying to give back. This is the season of giving, so I'm trying to give as much as possible, and even have another video on the works that hopefully I'll get done between Christmas and New Year's. All right, guys, thank you so much. Let's get into the holiday tour. We are starting with Larry Wintertime, our one of the very first small hitbox coin boxers that we've had since, what has it been, Dry Bones Gold and Gold Koopa free running. So it's very, very unique. Usually we've either had large hitboxes, or sometimes had to settle with a medium, Tuxedo Mario or Gold Me suit. So to have a small one, it is very strange, unless you're using a off-roader or something like that to be able to get those coins off the track. But Antilev, from a coverage perspective, what are your thoughts on Larry Wintertime?
Yeah, pretty okay. It's going to be interesting how he ends up being for long-term value, because especially in the top 10 ranking model, light coin boxers have a pretty low weighting. They're just above Lucky 7 and below Giant Banana. But the thing is, we only have two in the game. We only have Gold Dry Bones and Gold Free Running, and they're both very, very old. I think Gold Dry Bones is the last one we got, and that's more than 2 years old. He's starting off with seven non-city tracks, or 7 assumed tracks, because we have a lot of we got Merry Mountains and we got the Vancouver Velocities this tour. So he's starting with 11 tracks, but it's not like he has absolutely tons of stuff. He's starting with 2 exclusives, but really 1.5 exclusive. I think this is one of the most irritating things Nintendo has done. They gave him GBA Snowland, which is in ranked week 1, but it made it a level 8 unlock. And if you've seen the driver selection for that track, I'm sure you have, it is terrible. he's the only plus skill on there, but it's a level 8 unlock, so it's really Nintendo's really trying to bait people into using 22 tickets on Larry immediately. The nice thing is he's on discount. He's only 105 rubies, so my plan is to buy him and stash him. Yeah, the start is pretty okay. We got 3 of the new tracks, 3 very older tracks from the Nitros, Frappe Snow NT, DK Pass RT, Rosalina's Ice World RT, and then like a relatively, I guess it's already a year old now, Vanilla Lake 2R. So I would say out of his 7 retros, 3 new ones and 4 older ones, and then he's got 3 city tracks and 1 Nitro in the Merry Mountain. So it's a medium start. It's not great. I'm just worried he's going to get killed by overlaps with bigger hitbox drivers.
Yeah, it's cool that they made a Koopaling alt and gave it coin box, but it's obviously coming with a lot of caveats. 1, it's a smaller hitbox coin boxer. 2, it's also got this wintertime coverage, even if it's not related to Nitro or City. I think the one thing that I've always kind of talked about, call it a wintertime curse, call it a holiday curse, call it just some type of holiday coverage, anything that has like all snow coverage. It's like extremely useful for like 3 tours, maybe 4 tours for like a month and a half, 2 months, and then it's back on the shelf. It literally comes on the like Holidaisy. Like she is just was an absolute bonkers driver last holiday, and then it's been a while. I know she had a couple scattered in here and there, but overall these items are extremely valuable for like 1 or 2 tours, and then they just go back on the shelf. And it is really hard to find anything wintertime related useful throughout the rest of the year. Now, occasionally we'll see like a Vanilla Lake that's like sprinkled in there for a couple tours, and they really have to try hard to do that. As you can see that they were really forcing that down our throat. But other than that, like we really haven't seen a lot of these tracks. I mean, DK Summit, it's come back like once in the last 10 months. So I think from this perspective, I do wonder what his value and also the other driver that we have this tour that we'll talk about next. But I do wonder about their long-term value is, and we'll see what happens if they like what kind of coverage they get after these. If they give them more city coverage, or if they give them some kind of maybe ice cream, the Sunday High Sky Sunday track or something like that. They have to do something than just give it all. Because if you look at these. These are all wintertime tracks that he has outside of the cities and Nitro. So that'll be curious.
I think in that sense, sorry to interrupt you, I think in that sense it's actually kind of promising, because in this tour we basically have, aside from I think Vanilla Lake 1 and RMX Vanilla Lake 1, which he'll probably get, we basically have all the winter tracks. So when we talk about his buff arc, his buffing window, he's already seen the vast majority of the snow ice themed tracks there are. So, and he's not going to end up with like 15 tracks. So yeah, I think he will probably be kind of similar to Santa Bowser in the sense that Santa Bowser has got like the Maple Tree Ways, and then the other he's got some decent non winter themed tracks as well. So I'd actually be kind of optimistic to see his buffing going forward.
So you make a good point in that they can't give him 20 winter tracks right now because
exactly
because we have them all right there.
Yeah.
However, what they're going to give him, I have no idea. Like I don't know what kind of theme, because a lot of times they do kind of stick to a general theme. I don't know what kind of general theme they'll give him in the way of buffs outside of the wintertime tours. So we'll have to wait and see. Overall, at his value at 105 rubies, I think he's definitely worth picking up and stashing. I think that there is a piece where this specific Snowland track where I think that they're making it so tempting to take him to level 8 so that you can use a coin box driver on that track that it's a trap. Like to me, I'm just looking at this, I'm like, they're literally giving us like the worst possible situation, except for here's this carrot dangling at level 8. To me, it just seems like a big trap to me. I don't know how else to describe it.
Big bait. It's big bait. Unless you're going hard for ACR, I would say just try to survive ranked. I mean, like, my ranked is tough, but I don't have anyone on either of my counts who's got a level 8 Larry who I'm up against. So if you don't need it for ranked, I would say hold off.
There you go. Also, there's a question mark block there. For whatever reason, he was left off the SNES Lake, Vanilla Lake there. Cool, let's get into the other driver that was released this tour, the Santa Me racing suits. I took them up, I'll be honest with you, just because it's been a while since we've had a top skill me, and so I got a little excited. But yeah, same boat. I don't know what kind of track coverage he has, but I'm almost a little bit more optimistic. The fact that he only comes out with 6 tracks, and those are, I mean, we have all the winter tracks, like you mentioned, for Larry wintertime, but he has obviously much less in the quantity. What's your thoughts on Santa Me?
Yeah, so starting with 6 tracks for retros, 2 of them are new ones, Snow NT and Snow R, so those are good ones. Especially Snow NT is probably his best track, only overlapping with Larry there. And then DK Pass R, a lot of people don't have party time Pauline at a high level or at all, so then he's got the advantage over the other Lucky 7 drivers there, and that's an easy 200 track, so that's a really good one. Even if it's older and we don't see it around that much. DK Summit as well, that's an when you're looking at Lucky 7 drivers and you're assessing their value, Lucky 7 excels on tracks where you can get to 200 relatively easy, kind of similar to Giant Banana, and it really suffers on short tracks. So none of his tracks are like super short tracks. Like Snowland R is a lower action track, I would say, and he's sharing with 3 coin boxers, so that's probably his weakest of the 4. But it is a newer track, and it's a level 8 unlock, so for most people, it's not really going to be relevant. I'm also thinking this is a good one to buy and stash. Hopefully people get some most going forward, and we're in this me meta where the base points are such a big advantage. I think it's worth it to pick him up, especially because of the discount, and see what kind of buffs he or she gets in the next 3-4 tours. But cautiously optimistic on this one.
Yeah, I also will add there, I kind of was running through some math and thinking about, do I drop all these tickets on this Santa Me suit, or would it make sense for me to buy him 3 times? For 100 rubies, you can get him like leveled up. But if you think about like what a high-end level ticket is for a driver, it's more than a Kart or more than a glider. So if you think about if you're buying any type of tier shop high-end driver ticket, I mean, buying the Me suit at 100 rubies is actually probably less than that. So just kind of sticking that, putting that out there for what it's worth. I did get it 3 times, and I think even when I'm looking at, like, I have Mario Saddle of You at level 8, 1190, and using Santa Me at level 7, double uncapped, still give me an extra 2,000 points, something right? Like that. Yeah, exactly. So it's actually makes a lot more sense to just use a level 7 double uncapped than even a level 8 double uncapped.
No, that's kind of what I'm doing too, identifying specific strategic me's, and when I have excess rubies, I'm using those to buy dupes, because it's with the Spotlight shop, it's not really so tempting to buy new items anymore. So yeah, I'm putting my extra rubies into the level ups on those me's that I've identified. And it's not like I want to go full me, invest in all the me's but I mean, yeah, if you can get some good me's in your account, I think it's good to pivot a little bit.
Yeah, great, man. Appreciate that. Let's talk about cards. We got this holiday speeder. I think the speeders, man, they've been shoving these down our throats for whatever reason. I think we like them. What's your thoughts on the holiday speeder when it comes to coverage?
Here, let's see. I like my notes here. The gold jingle bell first. 1 sec.
And it is a commemorative item, so I know that there's been some rumbling around in the community that the commemorative items might be the most, most value, or have a slight edge on value over other items, such as Spotlight Shop items or other newer items. What's your thoughts on that too?
Yeah, I mean, Moo Off-Roader is commemorative, right? So that's turning out.
Well, I mean, there's always going to be outliers, right? So we're going to have the Moo Off-Roader, this is amazing commemorative cart, and then we're going to have Gold PD, that's just this amazing ranked item, and then you're going to have, you're going to have some outliers, but you're also going to have some garbage too. Like this Streetle, I know the Streetle has really good coverage, but like I just don't see myself ever using it in any situation.
No, so I did look into a little bit and tried to kind of make a comparison over the value of the various, but there doesn't seem to be any kind of correlation between what's like the gold pass rewards are worse, but whether it's a ranked reward or commemorative, since the change of format, it doesn't really seem to have an impact. I think you really need to do the assessment on the starting tracks, the cart size, when it's, if it's a themed item or not, if you expect it to have only kind of themed buffs, whatever, and not saying, well, I'm going to only get the commemoratives, or I'm going to go hard on the ranked reward ones. As always, I would say just identify the items that have a good strong start and have a good 2-3 rounds of their first buffs, like we've kind of done with stuff like Moomoo Off-Roader, Shielded Speedster, and then at least then there's a high floor to you don't risk a lot by investing in those kind of items. The Holiday Speeder is another speeder. How many of these speeders do we have now?
I think 5? We're 5 now, yeah.
Unbelievable. They came up with the first one not that long ago. Starting with 11 tracks, 7 retros, got 2 DK Summits, DK Pass RT, and 2 R, and then it's got 3 of the Snowland variants, which is actually pretty nice. And the level 8 unlock is the Snowland R variant, which isn't in ranked. It's got the 2 ranked Snowlands at level 1, so that's actually quite a decent start for it. And then it's got a couple of velocities and a couple of Merry Mountains. It's an okay start. These are smaller cards, so they're not attractive to invest in on size alone. But I would say the start is definitely stronger than the other new high-end card in this tour, which is significantly weaker.
Yeah, I think to that same point, and just to go full circle, when a special pipe came out, we always kind of knew, or at least it was one of the things I was pretty vocal about, is that the new item released in a special pipe seemed to have better value than other items, and I think we're always looking for these edge, and almost wanting to take out things. So even when we're looking at a lot of the other coverage, we look at just the large hitboxes, we look at just the top skills, and we like to eliminate as much noise as possible. Unfortunately, I don't think whether it's commemorative items or ranked items, I don't think you can eliminate all the noise. You just have to kind of treat them all equal, in my opinion. So to your point, and to go full circle there, let's talk about the gold jingle bell and the overlap with the large carts.
Yeah, I don't know why the original cart was called Jingle Bells, and then you had the Frosty Jingle Bells, but this one is called Jingle Bell singular, so that's weird. It's starting with 9 tracks, but only 5 retros, and 4 of those 5 are old tracks, and the one that's not Snowland N is a level 8 unlock. So this is a terrible start, I would say, for any cart. It doesn't have a big hitbox either, so, and it's a gold cart and it's a gold pass reward, so it basically has everything going against it on the start. I would be amazed if this card turned out to be anything good. I'm not trying to be too negative here, but this is one of the least impressive. Let's say that the designs are not trending in the right direction for this card on release.
Yeah, if you're tempted between something else or this, and you're debating on whether to invest in this one or not, don't invest in this one. If you've already invested in it, and you can't take back those tickets, just roll with it. But ultimately, if you can invest in something else, by all means, please do.
Yep.
And with that, we'll move on. We have the Fested Holly. Let's talk a little bit about this brand new glider.
Yeah, so this is a little bit more of a medium start. It's starting with 11 tracks, which is a lot, but 5 of those are nitros or city, so only 6 retro tracks, which is kind of unfortunate, but it's a city tour, a city and nitro tour, so it's not even gonna have that. It's got 3 Snowland variants, once again, kind of similar to the Holiday Speeder. The R variant is on the late unlock, and it's got the N and RT versions at level 1, so you can use that in ranks twice. It's really nice. It's got 2 Vanilla Lakes and Rapid Snow NT, so 3 new ones and 3 old ones. It's a medium. The So it's a medium start, like medium to decent start. Overlap wise, it's hard to say because we're only talking about the 6 red versions that's overlapping with, but like some top 10 items that's overlapping with Sakura, Origami Glider, the tropical balloons, snow crystals, and the Galaxy Glider and Glittering Parasol, two overlaps with all of those. But for the rest, not a whole lot to say. It's I don't know if I'm gonna buy it. If it doesn't give you anything, if you don't need it for these Snowland tracks and ranked, and maybe you do, I think the ranked top shelf for Snowland N at least is pretty rough. It's an okay start. I would say it's pretty medium.
I think my general thought process in this whole entire tour is just put the blinders on and try not to think too much. Try not to get too hyped up about whether something has a lot of value right now. You'll notice later we talk about the Ice Dozer and how many tracks it has for All Cup ranking, how many tracks it has. But it's also, I think, on our in our algorithm, I think it's ranked like 160. It's like one of the worst carts in the game. And I have it invested. I have it 7,595. But I think also it's really valuable to store. It's getting used 18 times, but it's not gonna be valuable in like a month. So I think even if you want to invest in this Festive Holiday, that's fine. But like in a month, just know that it may not be as valuable as it is right now. But if you are going for top 10, you're going for top 100, you're going for top 1,000, get it, invest in it, love it, use it, go ahead and have a ball. Just know that, it may not have as much long-term value. So in my situation, unless you're going for top 10, top 100, top 1,000, put the blinders on, just get through the next month and a half without doing any crazy investments. Don't fall into the trap, and just stay focused on the other 10 months of the year that we're going to see all these assumed tracks coming back, and we may not see any holiday or winter items. So there's my final soapbox there on the winter items. I know I went for a top 10 run about this time last year because I knew I had some time off with Christmas and everything, but then also everyone else had time off because everyone has time off during the holidays. So I think like 20 people were going for top 10. So I found out in the first like 6 days this was not my tour. But meanwhile, I made all these investments, I have all these items. So I have like the Ice Dozer, I have the Poltergust, I have Frostwing, I have all these items at level 7, and Cream B Dasher Mark II at level 7, and you know what? I never used them the whole year, just never used them. So I'm only saying that because I learned from this, and I don't want other people to repeat my same mistake. Now, if you like going for top 10 or top 100 or whatever every winter, then go ahead and invest in it, because you will always have that investment and they will always come back and always be useful. I just wanted to I do want to just make sure that people who are newer to the game kind of know what traps are out there, what you could fall into, and learn from my mistake. Certainly, it's one I don't want to repeat myself, and hopefully other people can't. But let's get into the daily spotlight. So I did a video, I think it was Thursday when it first came out. Big shout out to Sam78IT. He and I have collaborated. So when you go into his toolbox, you actually see the Studfit logo, which is really cool. Usually I give like 10 items that I kind of endorse or kind of would recommend nudging people to do some research on. But this time, I honestly struggled to find 8. So I put 8 drivers, 8 carts, 8 gliders that I highly recommend people taking a look at for their accounts. With that being said, there were some fringe ones. Some of the fringe ones would be Rosalina Chef. She came out with so many cities. It's still hard to find that much optimism for her long term. However, she has been getting some pretty good buffs, and because a newer driver, if you're a newer player, you might just want to kind of ride out the rest of that buffing cycle that she's still in the middle of. But then there's some awesome items that have been awesome and probably still will be awesome, such as Santa Bowser, even I think I still put King Bob-omb Gold. He would be one of the first out if I had to make an even smaller list, but he's got a big hitbox, and he's generally useful if you in a couple situations. But honestly, I think in the main situation, if you only could go for one, and you happen to see Charging Chuck, he would be the one. Charging Chuck Gold, he would be the one I'd highly recommend getting. Other than that, I'd probably save your rubies, maybe put them into Mii's or something else. Some of these drivers that do have these little logos have been in the Spotlight shop for the last couple months, so most likely you got them. As for carts, kind of the same spiel. did put a lot of these items in our top 10. There are some items that seem to be kind of rising a little bit, and some of the sweet rye, some of the strawberry software, things like that. We still have some capsules on there as well. And then for gliders, this is actually these are actually probably my favorite category to put some rubies on. There are some pretty good gliders available that are worth the rubies, such as the 1-Up Mushroom. That one's really, really strong. Mint berry balloons. You got the Sakura origami glider, the Mario hat. You got Black Star Chute, Secret Scroll. There's some really, really good gliders in here. So if you need coverage on a glider, the one spice you want to put in here, I added the chocolate pretzel. I was looking at its coverage, and I for whatever reason, I was looking at some of the coverage, kind of looking at the new tracks, and I feel like this one's kind of moving and shaking. So we'll see what your thoughts are on all these items, Angela.
No, I mean I more or less agree with you. Maybe some minor changes, like lightning streamliner, maybe that would be worth a shout for the Karts, but it's also been in the spotlight shop a lot, so I don't really mind you leaving out. If people have wanted it, they probably have got it by now. And there's some other good gliders, like the Cat Parasol, I think is okay. Off the top of my head, the Pink Gold Meteors has been good in the past. The Pink Magnifying Glass is really good as well. I think it's up to it's just outside the top 15 this tour, or maybe top 10 even. So I think that would be a nice glider to pick up that a lot of that's kind of flown under the radar. But other than that, no, I more or less agree with your assessments here. I like Chocolate Pretzel as well.
Good. We'll get to some of this more. I think the Pink Magnify, I think it's in the 18 to 20 range.
Okay.
Little higher than you think. But hey,
my sheet is freezing, so I can't quite check it. But I know it's a glider that's kind of on the up and up.
I know that the sheets had some issues this week.
Not gonna talk about that.
Let's talk about the buffs, though. These are all the buffs. These are all the drivers with a lot of buffs. The biggest one is obviously PD Piranha. He gets a lot of tracks this tour. Now, again, there are some good tracks to get. Especially if you're thinking about PD Piranha having Boomerang. Some of these tracks are really good to have Boomerang on. Like for instance, Rosaline Ice World T. I know a lot of us were using Pink Gold Peach, but until then there was not really for a long time there were no top skills. I mean, a lot of people were using gold.
Top skill. She's a level 8 unlock, I think, on that one as well. So.
So that one's that's it. There are a lot of little hidden gems for a Boomerang driver that's and that's a track where I think it would be actually a lot of fun to boombox and for sure. For sure,
it's an easy 200. So yeah,
200, for sure.
Not easy, but I mean doable.
I think so. It's kind of the same thing with all the Rosaline Ice. I mean, all these 3DS tracks are just a little bit longer than most of the other tracks. So getting into 200 may not be as difficult, but still a fun one to boombox potentially. Drivers with 3 bucks. We have Tie-Dye Daisy Dress, which you see there. She's number 1 on our list. She got the Snowland R and Vanilla Lake 2R, along with the Merry Mountain R. You'll notice that all the Nitro tracks, all the city tracks, are listed in red there. Shout out to Larry98 for doing that. You also notice, I guess not many on the screen. Okay, well there you go. A couple of these will have an actual little label on them, whether they were a 2019 track, a 2020 track, a 2022 track, or on the far bottom right of that corner of the track, it will actually show if it's a ranked track or not. So it's a little easier for us to be able to read. Huge shout out to Larry98 for finding the need for that and putting it in his sheets. So definitely check out that. We have Daisy Sailor and Toadette Sailor. Also interesting that the Sailors got some winter tracks. Then we have drivers with 2 bucks. Charging Chuck Gold, obviously the most notable. He got the Snowland RT, an awesome track for him. He's number 3 on our list. Gold Me Racing Suit still getting buffs, guys. His buffing cycle, his or her buffing cycle is not going to be like any other driver in the game. I keep saying this, and I don't want anyone to get feel like he's dying, because he is not dying. He's still on the rise. We'll see what happens as time goes on. He got Frappe Snowland, which is not necessarily the greatest track, but then in Merry Mountain too. So I wouldn't say these buffs are that great. But hey, if you're going from 22 assumed tracks to 24 assumed tracks after 11 months in the game. I think that's a huge win. Got PD Piranha Gold. He got Rosalina Ice World R and Frappe Snowland T. Those are okay. He could have done better, but at least he didn't get all Nitro tracks. Dr. Bowser, Cat Mario, Hammer Bro, Peach, Yukata, Green Meat Racing Suit, Donkey Kong Racing Suit, Blue Shy Guy, and Orange Yoshi. What's your thoughts on the big buffers?
Orange Yoshi, the nice that he got Mary Mountain Tea. That's kind of a difficult top shelf, and it's in week 1 ranked. So it's not a nitro buff, or a retro buff, which we're mainly focused on. But that's a good one. I'm actually using him on my main account for ranked this week.
Wow. Wow.
Yeah, I know.
Your main account.
On my main account. Yeah, I just got some like lucky 7 drivers who are like level 5 or 6, and I have him level 8 at quadruple cap because I used him when I went for top 10 on one track.
Right.
So I'm doing it. Yeah, no, I mean, like, I think you touched on the important ones. I think the Daisy Tie Dress buffing schedule is really interesting. She is not getting any new rank tricks, like, at all. So people are like, how can she be number 1? How can she be number 1? I mean, there's a lot of Daisy Tie Dress, Tie Daisy fans out there as well, so a lot of people are happy about that, but she is basically by far the best driver in the game for ACR right now. She's getting all of these, she's got the most Coinbox exclusives in the game. She keeps getting these new tracks, and she's got, she had already the quality tracks. Now she's getting the quantity. She's up to 23 assumed tracks. So, really good buffs for her. It would be nice to see her getting in ranked for a while, but it seems like that's kind of just not the direction they're taking her. They're going to make her an ACR champion, which is totally cool. We make this rankings for everybody. We're trying to keep everybody happy, ACR grinders and people who only focus on ranked. So it's never going to be totally understandable if you only focus on your ranked and like, oh, she's never ranked, well, why would I ever use her? How can she be number 1? I get that, but that's the way it is. PD Piranha, great buffs for him as well, even if he didn't get any of the new tracks. The fact that he's as old as he is and he's getting 4 buffs, even if one of them is a nitro. 3 retro buffs in a tour at this late stage is crazy, even when it's like you expect that from the sort of like more seasonal type item, like a winter item. This is PD Brian, okay, well, random, I don't know. The Gold Me Racing Suit, it's not the best buffs, but again, he's kind of at the end of his buffing cycle. If I can see my sheet is frozen, but I think only around like 20 or 23 tracks left to see. So any kind of buffs the Gold Me Racing Suit at this point is a bonus. So even Frappe Snowland is quite old, it doesn't have a lot of value. The interesting thing about that one is I think he robs a exclusive from Santa Bowser on Frappe Snowland, and that's unfortunate for Bowser Santa Claus. But and other than that, no, not really anything else to say. The charging chuck is just kind of charging along, getting a solid ranked new track buff, and Mary Mountain is whatever, but it's cool. Yeah, you know what? Two points I want to make there. One, first about PD Piranha. If you told me one of the PD Piranhas, either the gold or the regular, would be getting 4 buffs this tour, I would have guessed, the PD Piranha. Of course, the newer one, yeah. The newer one, right? So it was kind of odd as well as I was looking at this. I remember playing Super Mario, I think it was Odyssey, where you're going up in Rosalina's ice world, and there were plenty of piranha plants. That's a big part of that game. I wonder if that's one of the reasons they're kind of giving him some buff. I have 4 Rosalina Ice World. I have no idea why, but 4 buffs there. That's really interesting. The other point I was going to make is, for going back to your tie-dye comment about her being like this all-cup ranking champion. I mean, honestly, it's nearly impossible to try to predict which tracks are going to be in ranked. Because we're getting 2 new tracks every single week, right? So, in ranked, we have 3 tracks. And 2 of them seem to be new tracks because they're giving us so many new tracks. They're giving us like 2 sets of new tracks every single tour. And so it's really just hard to predict that third one. But here's the thing. When you have Coinbox exclusives, you are putting the odds in your favor for future tours. And so that's all we can predict when it comes to these rankings. Partly is looking back at some of the historical data, but the main thing is actually taking that historical data and trending it forward so that you're putting yourself in, and when you make those investments, you're going to be setting yourself up for success in the future. So I think when you're investing in something that has the most Coinbox exclusive tracks, you're putting yourself in an advantage to win in future tours. That's my little soapbox on her. Yeah, and this whole isn't a tour for like huge. I mean, there are a lot of buffs this tour, but like for example, none of the drivers. Actually, I think also I have to double check on the Karts regulators. Nobody got Snowland and Snowland RT, or Snowland and DK Summit RT. Like, nobody got two new retros that are also in ranked that have just, like, you know, huge amounts of value. So the, you know, the amount of added value to new characters this tour, new items this tour, is not as high as you would have seen in the past, whereas, you know, something is jumping up like crazy value because it's getting two new ranked tracks and one's exclusive or whatever.
Yeah, good point. Sake of time, we'll move forward. There's a lot of drivers that got one buff. This was staggering to me, is how many drivers, how many items got one buff, and that's it. It was pretty spread across everybody and sharing the wealth. But Meowser got DK Pass RT. Nice for him. Obviously, that's a track that you probably not necessarily needing that much help with coverage on.
No, but he's so old. It's just bonus.
It's icing on the cake, literally there. White Tanuki Mario got the Snowland RT. This is a great track for him. He is number 7 on our list. 21 assumed tracks, 10 cities. Yoshi Gold Egg got DK Summit RT, which is a ranked track. You noticed both White Tanuki Mario and Yoshi Gold Egg, you see in the bottom right corner, ranked. That's awesome for him. So he is back in our top 10. We got Luigi Knight, although he got Merry Mountain RT. That is a ranked track. That came out in 2021, as you can see in the little blue. 2022 is represented with that little pink label there. Pink Shy Guy Ninja has this brand new track, this DK Summit RT. That's a phenomenal track. Obviously, it's a long track. Any of these DK Summits are longer track. It might be easy to get to 200 actions. So a banana action higher than a coin action. So this is actually positive for him. However, it is a wide track at many parts throughout the course, so you may not enjoy that aspect of it, but there's some really sneaky smaller sections that are pretty good for him. Then we have PD Piranha Me Racing Suit getting the Rosalina Ice World. Again, another PD Rosalina tie there. We got DK Dr. Peach getting the Snowland T, Rosalina Chef getting Snowland RT, and that's where we start to dip outside the top 15. So I'll stop there and get Antelev's feedback, so I don't want to steal any of your thunder. I notice there is King Balbom Gold on there and some other, even Luigi Vacation getting a nice little buff there. So some other buffs in there too.
Bowser Santa got the new. This DK Summon RT is a new track, but it seemed like there's like quite some top skills on that one. There's, I think, Pink Ninja got it, Bowser Santa got it. So it's a nice one to get for an older driver. And like I said before, like for a driver like Meowser, he's so old, he's basically seen everything. I think there's like 6 tracks he hasn't seen. So for him to get a retro buff at this point is unnecessary and gratuitous, I would say. But it's just adding to his value. But yeah, other than that, you know, not a whole lot to say. Yeah, I was going to talk about the exclusives. We have 2 new exclusives this tour, and my sheet is freezing, so I can't read them off to you, but one of them is Snowland T. Neither one of them is ranked because we don't count level 8 unlocks as ranked exclusives. So one of them is Snowland T, and I think the other one is, off the top of my head, I'll have to check and get back to you. And then we have 2 drivers of lost exclusives. One is the Sound of Bowser on Frappa Snowland, and I think the other one is another, I think Blockhead lost one. It's either DK Summit or Rosalina Ice World RT, but I'll get back to you on that one in a second. Let's move on to the cards.
Yeah, let's get to the carts. These are the carts with the most buffs. So we have 6 with 3 buffs, including the Flaming Speedster, Cheer Ship, Pink Sneaker, Gold Romby Runner, Gold Bruiser, and Black Sneaker. Then we have 1 cart with 4 buffs. This is the Pink Sneaker. So now it has 11 assumed tracks, 4 cities, including got the Snowland R, Snowland T. Those tracks are great, and also the Merry Mountain RT, which is a ranked track. So interesting there for the Pink Speedster. I don't really want to talk about any of the cards with 3 buffs. All of them seem pretty skippable. That Flaming Speedster, though, just outside the top 20. That's kind of interesting with the DK Pass T and the Snowland R. Then there are a number of cards with 2 buffs. Most notable, the Tropical Truck, number 3 on our list. It got Snowland T, a very nice track there, plus a ranked track, which is the Merry Mountain RT. So both are useful. One being ranked, one being a newer track that pretty paywalled to start. Then you had the Ice Cream Mini Bus with Snowland R, Snowland 2, two great buffs there for the Ice Cream Mini Bus. Moo Moo Off-Roader. Now, this is one that I saw a lot of people investing into, and it's already a fan favorite. And just to be honest, a lot of people on the survey are expecting this one to be a hot cart next year for sure. Got Snowland, and then of course the ranked Vancouver Velocity 3R, which many people are quickly taking that one up, especially if they didn't have something like a Cream B-Dasher or something else to help them out on that track. And you have the Gold Bullet Blaster, number 9 on our list. It broke our top 10 thanks to its buff on Rosalina Ice World R and DK Pass RT. Two older tracks, and it is a smaller hitbox, but it's doing really well with coverage. It's got 20 assumed tracks in 5 cities. The Flowery Bandwagon, it's got the Snowland RT and the Merry Mountain RT, both ranked tracks. So really good showing there for the Flowery Bandwagon. It's number 20 on our list. It's kind of sneaky. I was playing around with the coverage optimizer, and based on having the based on having the tropical truck, the shielded speedster, and the yellow off-roader, I just selected those 3 and having it at level 8, potentially all 3 of them quad capped. They recommended the Flowery Bandwagon as the next one for me to invest in to make up the rest of the coverage for just tracks in 2022. So I am keeping an eye on it for sure. Watermelon Kart, Sleigh Rider, and Camo Tanuki Kart. I would say this Camo Tanuki Kart, not great buffs here. Both Vancouver tracks, neither in ranked. That's unfortunate. And then Frostwing, people are finally getting to use it again, even though it's ranked number 88th on our list with Snowland and Snowland R, 2 solid buffs there. One of them in ranked, one not. But definitely happy to use the Frostwing again in ranked. That's been fun. Gold Eagle. Unfortunately, 145 on our list with DK Pass R and Merry Mountain R. Swift Talon, even worse at 160, thanks to its Snowland T and Merry Mountain T. One of which is in rank though, which is nice, and the other one, Snowland T, is a pretty good track. So, it's just so, man, these Eagles are just set off so far behind everyone else thanks to its All City Start.
Yeah.
And then the Orange Turbo Birdo, Turbo Yorshu. You're probably using that in ranked, aren't you? It's not in ranked.
No, actually, I'm not.
You didn't invest in it last tour? Also?
No, I didn't invest in the car. It's just the driver.
What are your thoughts on the carts, man?
Yeah, like you said, the carts with 3-4 buffs are kind of not that interesting. I also think the cheer ship has probably the best set of buffs in the whole tour, because it's got DK Summon RT, which is week 2 ranked, and I got Snowland N, which is in week 1 ranked, and then its third buff is also Snowland R. So I've got 3 new tracks, so value-wise, it probably saw the most. But I mean, again, this is, like you were saying before, it's a very heavily themed item. I'm probably not going to see it pop up much outside of kind of winter / Christmas kind of tours, so it's risky. I mean, it might help you a lot for this tour if you're going hard for ACR, and it's got 23 tracks, so it looks pretty good, but it's a tiny hitbox, and I would say just be kind of cautious about investing in those kind of items. Other than that, yeah, Moo Moo Off-Roader, that's kind of the hottest meta card right now, and it's already in the top 10. I think it's a pretty safe investment right now. This isn't a tour where we'd expect it to get a lot of buffs. It's cow theme, so you're thinking more like springtime. When Moo Moo Meadows or Moo Moo Farm or whatever come around, it's definitely going to get a couple of those. It's already at 14 tracks after its 3rd tour, so pretty high floor already. And then it's got the big hitbox from an off-roader, so that's great. I think the Gold Bullet Blaster is also an interesting one to keep an eye on. It's already got 20 tracks, and it only came out in the Bowser tour, so it's still pretty new. And I think it's got something like 85 tracks left to see. Let me see if I can. Yeah, I think 85 tracks left to see still, and already 20 tracks. So pretty interesting. But again, small hitbox. So beware if you care about that kind of thing. And other than that, the ice cream minibus is really good, and tropical truck really good. But other than that, yeah, not really that much to mention.
All right, let's talk about the carts that got one buff. Shield Speedster did get this older track, this SNES Lake. Lake 2T, not a great buff, but it's still getting some buffs.
Keep it top, yeah.
Just enough to keep it at the top of the list, but Yellow Off-Roader is certainly closing in on that. we'll get to here in a second. But Cream Cat Cruiser got DK Summit RT, a nice ranked track there. Number 5 on our list, Strawberry Soft Swerve getting the ranked Snowland, which is nice there. Got 18 assumed tracks, 8 cities there for the Strawberry Soft Swerve. And then the Streetle got Snowland. This is the ranked track, 17 assumed tracks, 4 cities. If you have invested in the Streetle, let me know. I don't know. It's got great coverage. There's no denying that, but it's just so tiny. And then we have Lightning Streamliner, which was a former top 10 and seems to be slipping a little bit here. Just fell out to our top 15. It's 19 assumed tracks, 9 cities. It does have this ranked Mary Mountain RT, but again, it's a nitro, so we may not see it being used very often throughout the year. Coral Jet Cruiser, Goo Goo Pink, Coconut One, Dragonfly, Sweet Ride, and Gold Standard, kind of wrapping up the top 40 there. What's your thoughts, Antelev, on the Karts with 1 buff?
I don't really see any names here where I'm like, oh yeah, that's great. I'm happy about that. Strawberry Sauce for getting Snowland End is a pretty good one. But other than that, yeah, nothing here I'm blown away by, to be honest.
All right, let's get into gliders then. Much smaller list. We have 1 glider with 5 buffs. That is the wonderful Garnet, which makes sense being the birthstone of January, getting a lot of snow-related items. You have Rosalina Ice World and Snowland T, and then three nitros in there. So one ranked track, which is nice. It's number 81 on our list with 10 assumed tracks in 5 cities. Gliders with 3 buffs. You have this pink magnifying glass. I apologize. It is number 11. It's got the Snowland T, and Mary Mountain R. One of those tracks is in ranked. There's 22 assumed tracks, 9 cities. Then we have gliders with 2 buffs. We got the Tropical Balloons at 12 with Rosalina Ice World and Snowland R. You got Candlelight Cake with Snowland and Snowland R. Those are good tracks for the Candlelight Flight. Fire Manta Glider. Interesting that the fire-related item getting the 2 snow tracks, but Snowland R and Vanilla Lake 2. Here's the Chocolate Pretzel, number 30 on our list right now, but relatively new. 16 assumed tracks, got the Snowland and Snowland 2. These are 2 solid buffs there for it. Red and Gold Umbrella, Pear Panini, Calico Toe Beam Balloons, Autumn Leaves, and Jolly Bells. What's your thoughts on the gliders with the most buffs?
Yeah, not like too much. The pink magnifying glass has got some like really good value added there. This week for glider buffs, there are not a lot of glider buffs. I think here, what did my notes say? 60 buffs for gliders, only 43 retro buffs. No glider got 2 ranked retro. No glider got 2 of DK Summit T or either of the Snowlands. So there's not like a huge shakeup here. Yeah, the wonderful Garnet, it's a new glider from the last 2 or so. We have to kind of see. It's kind of disappointing that it's getting 5 buffs, but 3 of them are nitro or city buffs. The Tropical Balloons is still going strong. It's interesting to see kind of summer theme one getting 2 snowy tracks. Then a Candlelight Flight Cake is kind of interesting because that's one of those ones with an all city start, and we tend to kind of rate those off just because they have such a huge hurdle to kind of overcome, but it's kind of creeping up on there. 18 tracks, which is not a crazy amount for a glider, but it's not the oldest. It's still got some tracks up to see, and so we'll see how that one goes. Other than that, yeah, no, not really a whole lot to mention.
Yeah, you know what? For both like pink magnifying glass and Candlelight Flight Cake, I mean, when you're talking about 40% of their coverage being cities or nitros, that's just really tough to digest. It's really hard for me to get really excited about. And then on top of that, for the pink magnifying glass, it's a green shell. And I know that some people have said that green shells don't pop up more often, but I can tell you firsthand.
They absolutely do.
They absolutely do. There's no doubt about that. I can't use green shells. I mean, I was using it for, I think, Dino Jungle for the ranked track a couple weeks ago. With the Dry Bowser umbrella, and I was getting like triple green shell frenzies on runs. It was way too much, and at that point I vowed to stay away from all greens. It's undeniable in my opinion, the green shell frenzies you get with those. So if you can put up with that and you have the time to be willing to sift through those not so great frenzies. I mean, the coverage seems to be great. It looks like, but here's the thing: 9 cities out of with 22 assumed tracks, it's basically 30% are cities. And for Candlelight Flight, basically split in half. I mean, 16 cities, 18 assumed tracks. That's really tough to digest too. So I'm with you though. Like I looked at I think Stanler posted in ER about the Candlelight Flight Cake, and there's some really good tracks in there, but there's also a lot of other tracks that I'm not as excited about. So just, I think if it works for your account and you can and it gives you some really fills some really good gaps, go for it by all means. And so, I think that's the general thought process for the rundown in general, is by talking about things, maybe we can help, show you what items have specific tracks. So as you're thinking in your mind, like, which tracks am I having a hard time covering? I'll look at that. Maybe I should look into that item. And that's by talking about it. Hopefully that provides you some ideas for what you can invest in. Awesome. And then last buffing slide, we have the gliders with 1 buff. There's so many. But as you can see here at the top of the screen, Piranha Plant Balloons, now our #1 glider in the game. It got the Rosalina Ice World with 24 assumed tracks, 5 cities. That's what I'm talking about. 24 assumed tracks, 5 cities. That's what I'm looking for. Those are the gliders I'm looking for, guys. So you also see Wonderful Wings right next to it. 29 assumed tracks. It's got 12 cities, but 29 assumed tracks. That's just so many assumed tracks. Like, if you look at across the screen, like, no one's even coming close to that. Good. 1-up Mushroom, though. It's a hot glider. I took it to level 8, 595 so far. I'll definitely be taking it to triple cap here in the near future. It does have this rank track. Again, it's Merry Mountains RT, but it's been crushing it this year, and it seems like it's still picking up steam. 24 assumed tracks, 7 cities. 7 cities for the 8-bit 1-up Mushroom. Minted Berry Balloons get a wonderful Snowland T. Unfortunately, it's not in ranked. Boomass get the Frappe Snowland, a little older track, but it's up to 20 assumed tracks, 6 cities, and number 6 on our list. Secret Scroll gets the Snowland R, 20 assumed tracks, 5 cities there. Sakura Origami Glider, a ranked track, 24 assumed tracks, 9 cities there. Mario Hat Balloon, a ranked track there with 18 assumed tracks, 8 cities, number 13 on our list. And Vanilla Chocolate Balloons, it looks like both of these ice cream gliders doing really well. 22 assumed tracks, 8 cities there with Snowland T. Glittering Parasol is 26 assumed tracks, 9 cities. And then Black Star Shoot, 20 assumed tracks, 6 cities. Unfortunately, this one's fallen a little bit. It isn't ranked, which is nice, and but it is a nitro track. I know a lot of people were predicting this to be a top glider going into next year. I absolutely still love it. We'll see what happens, but you're at least using it ranked. We'll see what happens next tour. And then Luigi Hat Balloon. Some people were pretty excited about this as well. You got the Snowland ranked track. It's up to 18 assumed tracks, 6 cities, number 19 on our list. And then Silver Candlelight Flight ranked track with Snowland. 16 assumed tracks, 4 cities at number 20. And that rounds out our top 20. What's your thoughts on the gliders with 1 buff?
Yeah, we have a new #1, as we'll see later. I would just say one caveat: if you are thinking about Piranha Plant Balloons or 8-bit 1-up Mushroom, they both came out on the same tour. They're both great gliders.
One or the other.
They have 7 overlaps with each other, so not both.
Yeah.
I went for the Piranha Plant Balloons. I know a lot of you went for 8-bit 1-up. They're both great choices. Just be aware they have a lot of overlap. The Black Star Shoot, like, it's from the Bowser tour, and I think it's still got time to get up there. I think it'll be fine. Don't worry about it. It's nice to see the 8-bit Super Mushroom getting a buff. It's kind of seen everything right now, so anything is a bonus. It's nice for it to get a new track. It's not really high up in the rankings anymore because most of his tracks are older, but it's still a coverage champion with a huge amount of coverage. So that's a good one if you're just looking to kind of fill out your account. Other than that, yeah, no, not really that much here where it's like this is a great buff or not. Yeah, no. The Silver Candlelight Flight is kind of disappointing. Is it harsh? I mean, it has 16 tracks, which is okay, but I feel like people expected more from it.
I don't know. I think people still have some optimism, and I honestly wouldn't put too much judgment into this tour across the board for any of the items we just talked about.
It's kind of hard to take these off apart, really. It's like if they're ranked now, it's good. I mean, like consider a nice buff, ranked buff, RT track week 2, but how much impact is that going to have 3 months from now? I don't know. It doesn't feel like a normal tour.
I mean, it could have gotten 3 buffs this tour, and 2 of them been Vancouver tracks. So
that's true.
I'm just saying, don't. This is a weird tour. This is very different. So just put an asterisk next to this tour for any of these buffs, and just kind kind of hold her off to the side. Again, keep the blinders on. That's what I'm always talking about here in this episode. Any major or minor tweaks to the algorithm?
No, we slightly raised the fact, like, it's kind of annoying because we kind of expected them to add, like, you know, some new battle tracks like relatively frequently, but it seems like we're just rotating the same 3 battle tracks. So as a result, we kind of raised the weight for those battle tracks because they're in every tour and they're in like twice, so they're more valuable from an ACR perspective. We didn't change anything else like the me value or anything in the model, although we are kind of considering our treatment of nitro tracks, Mary Mountain and Hideaway, Sky High Sunday. I'll post to Discord, and maybe I'll put it on blast as well, an alternative top 10 rankings with those nitro tracks seen as normal retros, and get people's thoughts on it. It's why I'm kind of toying around with doing something. Other than that, yeah, no changes.
I would say the one thing that's been coming up a lot in the community here recently has been, hey, you know, we're seeing cities come back, and so now maybe we shouldn't have the distinction between, you know, assumed tracks and city tracks. And I think that conversation, it is slightly true, but I think it's gone way too far. That pendulum went from here to like way over here. Guys, I don't want us. I still think that the cities definitely need to be kept separate. And here's why for me. If you think about it, you know, we have every tour we have 45 tracks, right? And if you think about like a set, like when they bring back, say, Rosalina Ice World, you know, they bring back the normal, the R, the T, the RT. And so not everything has an RT, but most things do. And sometimes they don't bring back the RT. And sometimes they just have some RTs without the rest of the track. So my main point is that they have somewhere in the 10 to maybe 11 sets of tracks. Like sets meaning like, you know, Airship Fortress set, you know, Bowser's Castle set, and they bring back these sets. Here's the thing is when they bring back the cities, they might take 1 or 2 sets, you know, Vancouver Velocity 2 and Vancouver Velocity 3, that's 2 separate sets. You still have 9 sets, you still have, you know, a lot of sets that are not cities. And so if you have a 9-to-2 ratio or, you know, a 10-to-1 ratio, that's just not enough. And so, yeah, maybe cities are included a little bit more, but not on a 10-to-1 ratio. You know, so I think from that perspective, that's how you really have to think about this is, yes, they're coming back, but they're not coming back equal to an assumed track. So, you know, for an all cup ranking person, someone who plays all cup ranking, that's like what I enjoy about the game. I have a 10-to-1 ratio of assumed tracks to city tracks. And so I'm not going to get too hyped up in investing into items that might come back once or twice a year. Now, here's the thing. When we look back at the whole calendar, we've seen every single track come back or seen it for the first time, except for like 10 RTs. And so from that perspective, you know, I don't think you can really truly discount anything. However, but there's been plenty of tracks that have come back, like this Bowser's Castle. Bowser's Castle we've seen, you know, 12 times this year. So, you know, I think having that kind of coverage is way more important than any type of city, any type of nitro, any type of like super retro track. And I just think from that perspective, let's not get too hyped up on the cities coming back, even on a sprinkled basis. Again, we love it, but just don't get too hyped up about it.
I would say for anyone that really believes strongly about this, show me the data. Like make your case to us with numbers in how much, you know, in how we should put cities on an equal footing with retro. Here's the thing, like cities do come back a little bit more often this year. Seems like it.
For sure.
But there's a lot of cities in the game. We have almost 400 tracks in the game. There's 138 of those are cities, you know, so it's not as many as the retros. But like you said, there's a lot less slots for those cities to come back. So we're having tours where cities return, but the chance that any individual given city is going to come back is minuscule. So if you really feel strongly about this and you think you have the data to back it up, please make that case and I'll have a look at it. But I've looked at the data, you know, not this tour, but a few tours past, and there still wasn't, for me, a convincing argument to put cities at a higher weight or an equal weight with retros. If you feel differently and you think you have the numbers to back that up, please, I'd be happy to hear it. I would like nothing better than for cities to be treated the same as retros. I think it would be great for the game, and I wish they would do it, but nothing is there that's convincing me yet. But, you know, I'm open-minded and willing to change my mind.
And honestly, if you kind of going back to, I appreciate you saying that, Anthony. Going back to what I was saying about this 10-to-1 ratio, if you're saying, we have like 400 tracks in the game and 130 of them or so are cities, then that means that, we would need like 5 sets of cities to come back every single tour for it to be an equal ratio.
You basically need 30 to 40% of all ACR tracks. I mean, the thing is, with battle tracks, we can get away with a high weight because there's so few of them. So the chance that any given battle track is in a tour is like close to 1. It's basically 2/3. With cities, it's not the case because there's so many cities.
I mean, when was the last time we saw Paris come back, or Tokyo, and if you bring back cities and make them equal value, you also bring back that value too, and it just ends up.
Well, it's not even it's like when did we last see Tokyo? But there are 16 Tokyo tracks. When did we last see any individual Tokyo track? That's more how we have to look at it.
And if you make them equal value, then you're just taking away. Honestly, all you're doing is diluting the value that we have in assumed tracks, and so I absolutely love the way the algorithm is right now. I have heard the argument. I even was talking with Luca a little bit. I understand the value of battle tracks, and maybe those should be even more because we just see them every single tour, and we only have 3. So I mean, if you have someone like King Mario on that track for Cookie Land, or you have Meowser on Twilight House, you're just every single tour you're using it. So that's just kind of how it is. All right, let's get into the top 10. We'll try to go through this relatively quickly unless we get to a newer item that just broke our top 10. Yoshi Kangaroo has been in our top 10 for quite some time. Fortunately, he fell 3 spots. He has 29 assumed tracks, 15 nitro. He's seen every track in the game. Does have a newer pairing with PD Piranha and Meowser and Saddle of You. We were curious to see if Saddle of You would kind of start to fall off some of these pairings once other items get exposed to and buffed on these winter tracks. Just because Saddle of You just kind of came out right at the Space Tour and then got a lot of winter tracks buffing right after he came out. So we'll see if that continues, but not quite yet. I will say it does overlap with a lot of top skills, but only 5 times. So you're talking about 29 assumed tracks, 15 nitro, and only overlaps 5 times with all these coin box drivers. So that means there are a lot of these items you see here that overlap 6 times, 7 times, and don't even have as many tracks as Yoshi Kangaroo. Ultimately, Yoshi Kangaroo might be one of the best pairings in the entire game. So highly recommend taking a look at him. I mean, I've even played around with dropping 8 level tickets to take him up to level 8. Unfortunately, driver tickets are just such one of the most scarce resources, one of the most important resources, especially from a me investor, that I just can't do it. But he's really, really strong. Yoshi Goldegg, 23 assumed tracks, 8 nitro. Thanks to his buffing this tour, went up 2 spots. His pairing, King Bob-omb Gold, new there, I believe, on the list, Meowser and PD Piranha. Top skill overlap 6 times with Volendam and Gold Me. Then we have number 8 on our list, PD Piranha Gold, up 2 spots, 15 assumed tracks, 5 nitro, 133 tracks left to see. There's still a lot of tracks. He has not been exposed to too many tracks at this point, but still number 8 on our list and going up. Meowser, PD Piranha, and Kangaroo Yoshi are great pairings with it, covering 86 of the 254 assumed tracks that keep coming back. In the top skill overlap, now he does overlap 4 times with Mario Samurai and the regular PD, which the regular PD was just added this tour. White Tanuki Mario, 21 assumed tracks, 10 nitros, 75 tracks left to see, up 1 spot to number 7. Pairs really well with King Bob-omb Gold, PD Piranha, and Meowser, covering 91. It does overlap 6 times, though, with the other giant banana driver, Chef Rosalina. We have the question mark block Me Racing Suit, fell 1 spot, 20 assumed tracks, 7 nitro. Pairs really well with Meowser, PD Piranha, and Kangaroo Yoshi, covering 88 of the tracks. And then the top skill overlap, it does overlap 5 times with PD Piranha and Mario Saddle of You. PD Piranha, we've already talked about a couple times here, and for a variety of reasons. He is number 5 on our list, up 1 spot, 27 assumed tracks, 6 nitro, still 64 tracks left to see, which is kind of surprising to me. Pairs really well with Meowser, Kangaroo Yoshi, and Mario Saddle of You, covering 95 of the 254 tracks. Some overlap 6 times with PD Piranha Me Racing Suit, for obvious reasons, and Shy Guy Ninja Pink. Does overlap 5 times with Chef Rosalina. Gold Me Racing Suit, 24 assumed tracks now, 14 nitro, Still 19 tracks left to see. Starting to dwindle there, but he keeps getting the new bus, which is nice. Kangaroo Yoshi, Meowser, and Saddle View make some good pairings with 91 of the 254 tracks. It does overlap 6 times with Peach Happy and Gold Egg Hunt Yoshi, Egg something, Gold something, and then 5 overlaps with Meowser and Luigi Vacation. Number 3 on our list, Charging Chuck, still holding tight from last tour. He has 21 assumed tracks, 7 nitro, still 88 tracks left to see. A couple pairings there, both including Saddle View and Kangaroo Yoshi. And then you can either swap out PD Piranha or Shy Guy Ninja, covering 91 of those tracks. It does overlap, though, with his regular Charging Chuck 6 times. It was 5 last tour, it is now 6. Then Meowser, number 2. He fell from our number 1 spot. 30 assumed tracks, though. Only 4 nitro. You gotta love that. He has crushed it this year. Still had 8 tracks left to see. He's got PD Piranha, Yoshi, Kangaroo, and Mario Saddle View, covering 95 of the 254 tracks. That's phenomenal. He does overlap 7 times with Shy Guy Ninja and Mario Samurai, which is, when you're talking about 34 total tracks, 7 is a high number if you on almost every other slide except for on this one. This one's compared when you have 34 tracks, you're going to overlap some. He does overlap 6 times with Kamek, and a lot of people think that he overlaps a lot with the Gold Me Racing suit. So I put it on here. He does overlap, I think, with like 5 other drivers, 5 times. But I want to point out he does overlap 5 times with the Gold Me Racing suit. And then finally, last but not least, Daisy Tie Dress, 23 assumed tracks, 9 nitros, 61 tracks left to see. That I was surprised for. 61 tracks left to see. Seems like she's been around for a long time, but they've kind of kept some tracks away from her for a while. Got some good pairings, both with Meowser and also Mario Saddle View. And you can either swap out King Bomb Gold, which surprisingly has been some new on some pairings lists, as well as also PD Piranha new on some pairings lists. She does have some overlap with Kangaroo Yoshi. And for how many tracks she has of 32 total, 5 isn't too many, but I do want to point out it's Kangaroo Yoshi. But again, 5 isn't too much comparatively. So that's our top 10, Antilev. Just kind of looking at the raw score, there's a pretty big jump now, or pretty big gap between Ty Daisy and Meowser, almost a 4-point gap there. And then both Meowser and Charging Chuck pretty close to each other. Then kind of things are pretty scattered. I will say that there is a pretty large gap between 6 and 7. So
yeah, huge.
Pretty substantial. To round up the top 15, though, we have Luigi Knight at 11, Pink Shy Guy Ninja at 12, PD Piranha Me Racing Suit at 13, Dr. Peach at 14, and Chef Rosaline at 15. What's your thoughts on the top 10?
I would say PD Piranha Me Racing Suit is probably the kind of hottest me now. Still relatively new, got a great seal, and kind of getting into that zone of like an acceptable number of tracks. So we have a new number 1 this tour. I don't think it's that controversial. But like we talked about her a little before. Can you go back to the last slide for a second?
Absolutely.
Look, she has 8 exclusives. But just look at the overlap here. There's like a lot of these tracks only have 1 or 2 other plus skill drivers. I mean, it's really, the quality of her tracks is incredible. So people are asking, how can she be number 1? She's only got 23 tracks compared to Meowser, who's got 30 tracks. It's just these tracks that she has, a lot of them are so difficult to cover. So if you have her at a decent high level, she just helps out on so many tracks where there's really either no other good option or very few other good options. So for me, I think it's kind of even overdue. She got really good bonuses to go back to you can go back to the top 10 list.
Before I do that, to your point, if you look and say, each one of these thin top shelves, they're never the same people, right? So if you look at Peach Garden R, you got PD Piranha Me Racing Suit, and then you look down at Riverside Park RT, it's the yellow Me Racing Suit, and then you look over here at Daisy Cruiser, the only top skill there is White Tanuki Mario, and then you look at Dino Jungle, it's the Donkey Kong Me Racing Suit or Tuxedo Mario, or if you look at Donut Plains 1T, you got Luigi Knight or Volendam. Each one of these people are different characters, so she's like one fell swoop covers them all.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
No, she doesn't get killed with overlap, and I think that list is not even showing the fact that she has 8 tracks where she's the only Glenbox driver, so yeah, it's absolutely deserved. For the rest, yeah, not like a huge shakeup, I would say. Like I said, this tour didn't really make a huge market. There were a lot of buffs, but in terms of buff value, it was pretty mild. So kind of a mild top 10, at least for the drivers. The Karts had a little bit more movement, I think.
Yeah, let's talk about those carts. We'll start at number 10 with the blue-green capsule cart, 21 assumed tracks, 9 nitro, pairs with I think this is just the regular capsule cart, and the yellow off-roader and gold pumpkin cart, covering 88 of the 254 tracks. It does overlap 5 times with the Coconut 1 and the gold standard. Number 9 on our list, gold bullet blaster, broke our top 10, went up 6 spots, 20 assumed tracks, 5 nitro, still 88 tracks left to see. Pairs really well with one common pairing that you'll see throughout probably this rundown: Armored Rider, Gold Pumpkin Cart, and Yellow Off-Roader, covering 89. Cart overlap: the classic Beat Dasher Mark II, the Flaming Speeder, and the Candy Clown. Sorry. Number 8 on our list, one that seems like a lot of people are investing into, the Moo Moo Off-Roader, up 9 spots to number 8, very quickly ascending into our top 10, almost kind of in a shielded speedster type of way. 14 assumed tracks, 1 nitro. 1 nitro, guys, you gotta like that. 161 tracks left to see. It does overlap 5 times with the Black Yoshi, Turbo Yoshi, and the Pink Sneaker. Some good pairings there. Are some meta level carts. So if you have investment in these carts, definitely take a look at this Moo Moo Off-Roader, a phenomenal cart. You were praising it? Yeah, absolutely. Magna Broom, 25 assumed tracks, 3 nitro. Still really solid coverage there. 16 tracks left to see. Down 4 spots though. Pairs really well with the Rombi Runner, the Mark II, and the yellow off-roader. Those overlap 8 times with the green-yellow capsule cart and 7 times with the vampire flyer. Again, highly recommend just testing it out and see if you like the brooms before you invest in it. Strawberry Soft Swerve, 18 assumed tracks, 8 nitro, a really good track coverage there. Only 75 left to see. Really good pairing well with the Armored Rider, Gold Pumpkin Cart, and Yellow Off-Roader. This is a really good cart. If you have to invest in it, it's above average, almost, I'd say even large hitbox. Pretty nice to use, and it's got some really good early coverage. We'll see how it goes going forward. It does overlap 7 times with the, I think this is the Chocolate Banana mini bus, and then 6 times with the Green Cat Cruiser and the Watermelon Cart. Watermelon Cart new to that list. Cream Cat Cruiser, 22 assumed tracks, 9 nitro, really doing well here. 51 tracks left to see, up 3 spots. Really pairs well with a couple of these carts to take a look at. However, I do have to warn you, this cart overlap, these are one of my favorites carts I've invested in. Obviously the Tropical Truck I have quad capped, and then the Tanuki cart, one of my newer investments. But these are 2 carts that are really doing well in a lot of people's inventory. So take a look at that. 6 isn't, I guess, when you're talking about 31 tracks, maybe not be enough to move the needle, but I won't be investing in the Cat Cruiser, that's for sure. Ice Cream Minibus, up 12 spots. This is a huge jump up to number 4. 21 assumed tracks, 7 nitros, still 75 tracks left to see. Pairs really well with the Rumby Runner, the Magna Broom, and the Yellow Off-Roader, and then the Yellow Off-Roader, Gold Pumpkin Cart, and the Armored Rider. Covering 89 of those tracks. Those overlap 6 times with the Coral Jet Cruiser and 5 times with the Sweet Ride. We also have the number 3, my favorite cart in the game, Tropical Truck. 20 assumed tracks, 9 nitros, still 61 tracks left to see, which is really surprising. It's been around just 5-6 months now. Still has 61 tracks up to see. Some good pairings there. It does, as we talked about, overlap 6 times with this Cream Cat Cruiser. Number 2, we have the Yellow Off-Roader holding out its number 2 spot with 29 assumed tracks, 4 nitro there. It does overlap 7 times with the Tanuki cart and the Choco Macaroon, and 6 times with a number of other carts, including the Combo Cruiser, Purple Bunny, Cact X, and the Brown Off-Roader. And then finally, our number 1 cart in the game. And maybe you should help explain what's keeping it here. How is this the number 1 cart when it's not in ranked this tour, and why it didn't get a great buff?
It isn't ranked.
Which ranked?
It's on one of the Merry Mountains. I think in Merry Mountain RT.
Oh, okay, but it was not buffed in it. Yeah, you're right.
Yep.
wasn't buffed this tour, but it had access to it. How would it have access to Mary Mountain?
No, it got buffed this tour.
Okay.
I'm pretty sure. Here, let me check real quick. What
Double check that. 19 assumed tracks, 5 nitro, still 91 tracks left to see. That is a lot of tracks left to see. Again, it's kind of broke our algorithm, and obviously I've since quad capped it, taken it to level 8, and I absolutely love it. It's such a fun cart to use too, and it's been so fun like looking through my friends list when I'm giving out coins, and a lot of other people following suit. There's a lot of people following the meta and investing in this Shield Speedster. 2 different pairings here with the Armored Rider Gold Pumpkin Cart and Yellow Off-Roader, and then also the Robbie Runner Jukebox Buggy and the Tanuki Cart, covering 86 of the 254 tracks. Again, 91 tracks left to see. That is phenomenal. There's overlap 5 times with the Prana Pipes, which used to be a really good cart. It's okay now, but just put that in the back of your mind. When you look at the raw score, the Shield Speedster obviously at 100, Yellow Off-Roader, about 2 points, maybe 3 points away at number 2. The Tropical Truck at 94 points, pretty close to the Ice Cream Minibus and the Cream Jet Cruiser, and the Strawberry Soft Sword pretty close to each other. Yeah, overall, I mean, it's a pretty tight race. We'll see how it goes, but we do have to round out the top 15. Vampire Flyer, Red Vampire Flyer at 11, Red Off-Roader at 12, Streetle at 13, White Bruiser at 14, and Green Cat Cruiser at 15. The White Bruiser obviously fell out of our top 10, unfortunately. What's your thoughts on our top 10?
Okay, so first of all, I lied. Shield Speedster is not unranked. I just double checked that. I think that was the last tour. It has Vancouver Velocity 3, not 3R. So how is it it's number 1 because it had a lot of good quality tracks really quickly. It had like 16 tracks after 3 tours or whatever. And so right now it basically just needs to get like 1 decent buff per tour regularly to kind of maintain its position, unless something else, unless Moo Off-Roader gets like crazy buffs. Just because it has so many tracks left to see, so like every tour, the number of tracks every item has left to see goes down. Not seeing everything, or it's not seeing any new tracks, and so that needs to be compensated with buffs. And so far, Shield Speedster has kind of managed to hold on to its high position just by getting steady buffs, and not seeing too many new tracks. Other than that, we do have some more movement in the top 10. Moo Off-Roader, I think, is kind of following a similar pattern to a Shield Speedster, where it's having not quite the same, where it's like number 1 after 3-4 weeks, whatever. It's up to 14 tracks. I think Shield Speedster at this point was up to 16 tracks, retros, but it's kind of, like, again, it seems to be a favored cart by Nintendo. Tropical Truck Ice Cream Minibus is the big surprise for me. This is a small cart. It's kind of the same size as the Prancers, to give you guys. I think a lot of people don't really keep an eye on buses that much, so in spite of its small size, it's funny, I think this is the most small carts we've ever had in the top 10. Look a few months back, and we didn't change anything. We didn't change the model at all. It's still the same bonus that it's been since we came to the new system. There's just a lot of small carts that have such good coverage and such good value that they're in spite of their low size. Gold Bullet Blaster, Cream Cat Cruiser, Blue Green Capsule Cart, all Magnum Room is a broom. But yeah, I mean, just very, very good coverage. So if you're somebody who doesn't care about size, then definitely have a look at these carts, because if they were large or bigger, they'd probably be top 3 carts.
Yeah, you know what? For myself, I just like having. I can't really do like the really small carts like the Bullet Blaster or
Sure.
Capsule Cart or the Cat. But so it has to be like at least above average. For me, the Tropical Truck with a lot of drivers is substantial. I can get a lot of coins. There's many times where I'm doing like a drift over a ramp and I can still get 2 coins on either side of me. However, I did use it with Larry wintertime and it was rough. So I'm just, I was having a hard time. I think that's a really, really good point. Because we have a new light coin box driver, who's going to be very small. Look, I was using Gold Dry Bones with the Red Off-Roader in one of the Bowser Castles, I think, on my free-to-play account. It was okay. I mean, it wasn't fantastic, but it was doable. Even though he's a light driver, it's a massive cart. So if you're someone who's planning to invest in Larry, keep that in mind, what tracks he has and what carts you have there. You're going to want to have a big driver with a small cart is
all right, and a small driver with a big cart is all right. A small driver with a small cart, you will be tearing your hair out.
Even a medium size, even like a tropical truck size, it is too small.
Yeah,
with him
for sure.
Yeah. And, you know, Frenzy Fence did a nice little strat chat video I was watching last night, and you know, they kind of showed the side-by-side comparison. I think it was through someone had posted on their server about a large cart with a small driver like Larry Wintertime, or, you know, a small cart with someone like Meowser, and they're about kind of generally the same size. So, you know, put it for what it's worth. You know, to me, with all the coin box drivers we had that have been so big, hasn't been a problem. But now you might have to start thinking about it a little more if you invest into Larry. Let's get into the gliders. Candlelight Flight at number 10, down 2 spots, still an awesome glider, one that I've been playing around in my sheet of taking to level 8. It's 28 assumed tracks, 11 nitros, 8 tracks left to see. It does overlap 8 times with the Flyberry book and the Piranha Plant, 6 times with the Piranha Plant balloons. 8's substantial, 6, it's okay. Really focus if you have invested into the Flyberry book for whatever reason, might be tough there. Sakura Origami Glider, 24 assumed tracks, 9 nitro. Got some really good pairings there with some meta level items. However, it does overlap 7 times with the Candlelight Flight, 6 times with the Black Star Chute and the Dream Glider. Secret Skull, up 2 spots to number 8. 20 assumed tracks, 5 nitro, really sneaky here. 64 tracks left to see. Pairs really well with the couple 8-bit items, and then the Dragon Wings. Glider overlap though, it does overlap 8 times with the Fire Manta Glider. Not everyone have invested in the Manta Gliders, but 6 times with the Piranha Plant balloons, which is substantial for another top 10 glider. 8-bit Fireflower, just one of the metas here. 31 assumed tracks, 11 nitro, 0 tracks left to see. It's an awesome glider. Some good pairings there, but a lot of overlap with only 6 times though. So if you think about it, 6 is not a lot when you're talking about 42 freaking tracks, man. So don't worry too much about that overlap. For boom masks though, kind of to your point earlier, a lot of overlap with the Black Star Chute. 20 assumed tracks, 6 nitro, still 91 tracks left to see, guys. That's awesome. I know a lot of people invest in it. It's really doing well. In fact, it's doing better than the Black Star Chute, which we've been kind of keeping an eye on these two neck and neck for quite some time, and the Black Star Chute was doing better for a while. Mints and Berry balloons, 21 assumed tracks, 9 nitros, still 75 tracks left to see. That's great for that. Does overlap 6 times with the Mario hat balloon, and then the Flying Flappers. The Green Cat Parafoil, 23 assumed tracks, 8 nitro tracks, overlaps 6 times with the this is just chocolate vanilla balloons. Then we have the 8-bit 1-Up Mushroom, unfortunately fell 1 spot, 24 assumed tracks, 7 nitros, still 64 tracks left to see. Overlaps 7 times with the Piranha Plant balloons. We kind of talked about that earlier. And also the Mario hat balloons. Take note of. And then Wonderful Wings, a awesome glider the whole year. 29 assumed tracks, 12 nitro, 16 tracks left to see. Overlaps 8 times with the Aurora balloons and the Record Setter. And then finally, the brand new #1 glider in the game, the Piranha Plant balloons. 24 assumed tracks, 5 nitro. Pairs really well with the 8-bit Super Mushroom, Wonderful Wings, and the 8-bit Bullet Bill, or 8-bit Bullet Bill, Golden Wings, and 8-bit Super Mushroom. So a couple good pairings there, covering 95 of the 254 tracks. It does overlap 7 times with the 8-bit 1-Up Mushroom, which we've already talked about, and 6 times with the Secret Scroll and the Candlelight Flight. Definitely worth noting there. To round out the top 15, we have the Pink Magnifying Glass at 11, Tropical Balloons at 12, Mario's Hat Balloon at 13, Vanilla and Chocolate Balloons at 14, and the Glittering Parasol, surprisingly at 15. When we look at the raw scores, the Piranha Plant Balloons and the Wonderful Wings are neck and neck, less than a point difference between them. And then one-Up Mushroom, not far underneath that, and then a pretty substantial gap between 3 and 4. And then really big gap between 5 and 6, between the Mint and Berry balloons and the Boom masks. So, Angela, what are your thoughts on the top 10 gliders?
How good were the Piranha Plant Tour items? You got PD Piranha, the PD Misu, you got the top 3 gliders now, you got the Piranha Pipes as well. I think the Lightning Streamliner was from that tour as well, if I'm not
maybe.
mistaken. It was absolutely insane value in that tour. Unbelievable. New number one. They are really neck and neck. I didn't think Wonderful Wings would drop off this quickly, but Piranha Plant Balloons has come on really strong. And this is just down to the fact that Piranha Plant Balloons got a retro buff, while Wonderful Wings got that Merriman Mountain buff, which isn't as valuable in our model. Other than that, other than a lot of like huge movement here, I need to double check that Candlelight Flight. Did it go up 8 spots actually? No, for the rest, not a lot to see. I would say Mario's Hat Balloon is one to keep an eye on, and Pink Magnifying Glass as well. Those have been steadily increasing in the rankings recently. I wouldn't be surprised to see either one of those being top 10 next tour. Other than that, not a whole lot to say.
Yeah, actually, I apologize. This is not correct. It fell 2 spots.
No worries. I went to go look at my sheet to see what buffs it got, because otherwise I should go with 8 spots, but it didn't get any buffs this tour, so I was like, that's interesting.
Yeah. No.
All good.
It's a good call out there. Let me make sure everything. All right, cool. So that's our top 10 for the gliders. Karts and gliders, drivers, karts, and gliders. Let's talk about the top movers and shakers. These are the items that went up in the algorithm since between this tour and that tour, but did not break our top 10, or might have. But I think it's more important to kind of show some upward trajectory from items outside the top 10, just because they could be top 10 items in the future. Got some Rocky Wrench Me Racing Suit, Dolphin Me Racing Suit moving up in the 20s. Peach Vacation even went up 19 spots. Unfortunately, she's still at 72. Anything else really? Toadette Sailor went up 13 spots to 38, 39. Wouldn't necessarily recommend investing in that though. A lot of the Mii suits moving up. As for the karts, did they see this cheer ship? It was started at 102. It broke its number in half. Now it is number 48. Frostwing went up 54 spots as well. Fortunately, it started at 142. It's one of those cards that came out in the winter time, and here it is using. It's gonna probably even cut its. It's like every single winter because that's just what it's gonna have to happen. But because we have so many cards, it's really, really hard to be successful throughout the year with a winter type of coverage. Nothing else really I want to speak about. Nothing else really standing out. I will say, we talked a little bit earlier in the episode about the Ice Dozer. It went from 182 to 163. So not the best card. Again, for All Cup ranking, It's a monster this tour, but that's a really, really high. And again, I'm a Dozer fan. I have it. It's 7,595. I love it, but it's useful for me this tour, and then it will be back on the shelf. Most improved gliders. I kind of want to point out this Candlelight Flight Cake. That's what you were talking about earlier. Went up from 35 to 18, so up 17 spots. The Pink Magnifying Glass, it was 27. Now it's 16. It did get some pretty good buffs this tour, I will say that. But this tour is an outlier. I would just put your blinders on for sure. Warrior's Mustache up 14 spots to 42. Luigi's Mustache up 12 spots to 47. Curious, what are your thoughts on the mustaches in general? We now have quite a lot. We have Wario, Waluigi, Mario, Luigi. Then we have Icy Mario and Silver Luigi. Are any of them worth investing in?
Nothing is really blowing me away, I would say. I mean, the thing is, they're all they have had their moments of being decent, whatever. The only one that's in the top 25 right now is the Silver Luigi's Mustache, and that I think didn't get buffed this tour. I got Vanilla 2R, but it still went down in the rankings because it's an old track. None of them is. It's the Waluigi's Mustache. I took it to level 7 when it came out because it had I think 4 or 5 tracks for me out of its first 7 or 8 tracks, and it just has really done nothing for me since. I didn't even double cap it yet. That's how disappointing it's been. They're okay. But there isn't a standout there, I would say.
All right, fair enough. Let's talk about ranks and the unlock. So for this week in the Fire Rosalina Cup, we have Merry Mountain Tea. Got Cat Peach unlocking at level 6, I believe. Cheership, Frostwing at level 3. Dreamy Egg at level 6. Planet Glider, level 3. New Year's 2021 at level 6. And then the Glidden Glider at level 8. Vancouver Velocity 3R. The Swift Talon, this one might be something you're interested in at level 6 unlock. The Festive Holly, level 8 unlock, I believe. And feel free to correct me if it's kind of hard to see. Snowland, level 8 with Larry Wintertime. We all know this. This is a glaring, interesting temptation. It's a trap, though. It's a trap, I tell you. Gold Jingle Bell, level 8 unlock as well.
I'm using a level 1 driver on both accounts in this track.
Yeah, I'm using Cheap.
Totally okay with this.
Cheap Misu. And I got a coin, I think coin banana and like a horn frenzy, and I just called it quits. I'm done. You know what? I did put some investments into.
Get your 20K-ing it out.
No, I'm serious. I literally invested into the other tracks because like the one up Mushroom, I said I'd rather invest in that and getting 1,000 there than trying to put tickets in any other driver in the Snowland.
Absolutely.
It's unfortunate, but we'll see. If this track comes back again, hopefully whatever new driver
That's
is
the thing. There'll be some other good skilled drivers.
I hope so. I really do.
Get it. Yeah.
It is a pretty good Coinbox track for what it's worth, though. It's very, relatively flat. There are some weird curves, but in general, not bad for Coinbox. So I hope they do if they do add another Coinbox, hopefully in me, they do buff that track. That would be a good one for it. There is the Ice Mario Cup next week. We have DK Summit RT with this gold Jingle Bell at level 6, I believe. Merry Mountain RT, Cheership at level 6, and Candlelight Flight at level 8. Again, that was the one that's pretty tempting. And then that there are no level unlocks with Snowland RT. So what you see is what you get there. For multiple use in ranked for the holiday tour, we do have Larry Wintertime used 3 times thanks to that level 8 unlock. We got King Mario used 2 times. What's your thoughts on King Mario? We hadn't really talked about him yet this episode.
He got another buff, but it's not like he just. What I would have expected for him and his rarity and his thing is like what Ty Daisy is getting right now. Basically, like he should have her quality and quantity of tracks, but his buffs just keep being kind of underwhelming. He has got a lot of exclusives, and he's got the Cookie Land battle track, which is fantastic. That's like I don't have him on either account because I chose not to go for him. If he would come back, I would say it's too little too late, except for that battle track. If another Coinbox driver gets, because the thing is, on normal tracks, Coinbox, you can kind of approximate it with Boomerang. If it's a longer track, you can approximate the score with Giant Banana or Lucky 7. But on battle tracks, there's really, really absolutely no comparable skill to Coinbox. You need to have a Coinbox driver where it is possible. So him having that as sort of a Coinbox exclusive is really powerful. But for the rest, I just haven't been. He keeps getting kind of low quality buffs. It's sad to say, even though he does have like a good number of exclusives, like a lot of buff just underwhelming. So yeah, I'm not trying to like talk my own book here and be biased against him. And I want him to be good. I want the people who took the gamble or spent a lot of rubies to get him to be like rewarded for their daring to go for him, but I just haven't seen enough from him yet, and the fact that he's a medium doesn't help his case either.
Yeah, I'm with you there. Peach Happy is used 2 times as well. Nice to see her come back. We got Rosalina Chef used 2 times. Santa Mia Racing used 2 times as well. White Tanuki Mario 2 times. So again, so got some good options for ranked, used twice. Again, it would have been nice to have the Snowland for any of these, but outside of Larry Wintertime,
just made of a level 6 unlock would have been okay, right?
It would have been nice. As for the Karts, there's a lot of options that you can use. I will say the Cheership is used 4 times. Thanks to the level 3 and level 6 unlock, that's a lot. So substantial, worth taking note of. Holiday Speeder, if you need to get that commemorative item, it is used 3 times. So that can help you out if you need help on ranked. Again, it's a speeder, so that's something you want. A couple of other speeders on the list, including the blue speeder. Then you have the black carriage, you have the Cactar, chocolate banana minibus, cream B-Dasher Mark II, flowery Badwagon, Iron Cucumber, Moo Off-Roader, the Sleigh Rider, Strawberry Soft Swerve, and the Sweet Ride, all used 2 times. Frostwing, thanks to that level 3 unlock, can be used 2 times, and the Swift Talon with that level 6 unlock can be used 2 times. And then for gliders, the Festive Holly can be used 3 times. That's the most of any glider. And you do need that level 6 unlock though. What's weird is that you can't even get it till next week, but it's in ranked defeat week 1. So nice little. Can
it show up in the spotlight shop? I don't know.
No, I don't believe it can. I will say Holidaisy can show up in the spotlight shop. Maybe it can. I'm not entirely sure. I think it's. Wait, is it?
I thought they changed it so that the week, but 2 banners do. But maybe it's not the case this week. I just have no idea.
I will say Sam70IT and what he data mined, it did not show Holidaisy or the Festive Holly, but I don't think I've seen.
Okay. No, I mean I'll take that. Yeah.
But I mean, he didn't. I think in the data mining it doesn't necessarily. It doesn't. It keeps those separate. So I think that might be the case.
Oh, all right.
Let us know if you have it in your spotlight shop, or if you got it. Let us know in the comments. We did get the 8-bit 1-up mushroom used 2 times, the bright balloon 2 times, the chocolate pretzel used 2 times, gift glider. Icy Mario's mustache and White Waves origami glider used 2 times, but the glitter glider, thanks to that level 8 unlocked, can use 2 times. So there you go. That's the multiple use for ranked, and then we have the All Cup rank MVPs. To no surprise, Penguin Mario used 14 times, Larry Wintertime 3 times, Santa Mario 12 times, Penguin Toadette 11 times. None of those you should be surprised about. Those are all winter related or penguin related items. You have Rosalina Rosalina Me Racing Suit 10 times, Silver Me Racing Suit 10 times. So I did just take this one up to level 7 double uncap, mainly for this reason. Some really good tracks for All Cup ranking. Reindeer Me Racing Suit, which we can't get until we win ranked, used 10 times. Rosalina Aurora 10 times. Rosalina Halloween 9 times. Wario Hiker 9, Santa Bowser and Santa Me Racing Suit 9, and then Yoshi Reindeer. So a lot of these items, as you can see, are either reindeer or Santa or penguin, to no surprise. I will say the Cream Bee Dasher Mark II used the most, 18 times, tied with the Ice Dozer. These 2 carts, again, if you have them at a high level like myself, I'm going to be using it this tour, and then they're going to be back on the shelf. Romby Runner 14 times, White Snow Skimmer 13 times, Holiday Speeder 13, Black Penguin Slider 12, Gold Jingle Bell 11, Comet Tail, Frostwing, and Cactice. All these ice related carts used 10 times. Cheermellow 9, Cleanup Hitter 9, Frosty Bells 9, and Jingle Bells 9 as well. Moving to gliders, the Snow Crystals use a whopping 14 times. Nice to finally be able to use that again. Unfortunately, it's at $7,595. It's only my best option on 2 tracks. Just take a look at your own spreadsheet. Don't get too excited about it. Aurora Balloons at 13, Festive Holly at 12, Jolly Bells at 11, Penguin Wingtip and Candlelight Flight 10 times, Polka Dot Manta Glider, Luna Parafoil, Silver Surf Master, and Silver Star Shoot 9 times. So there you go. Anything you want to mention about All Cup ranking MVPs? I'm sure you can't wait to get back in.
Have a look at this list and look at how many of these items are meta. This is, if you don't care that much about the long-term value of your account or like making like a well-rounded, making your investments to min-max your account, this is an awesome tour to go for ACR. And the reason why is because these items are not like nobody is having a level 8 Ice Dozer unless they're like a super mega whale in the top 0.01%, or they're going for ACR this tour. So if you want to kind of like overachieve and go for, top 1K when you don't really go for ACR, or go for top 100 when you're kind of I just get top 1000, and you have these items and you get a lot of tickets, it's going to be a great tour because you're not going to have a lot of competition, because the popular items are the items that are on a lot of tracks are not things that people are going to want to, like, nobody wants to invest in the ice dozer for, no offense. Studfit, but
yeah, no, like I said, I invested in it
it's-
for this reason, for the exact reason you're talking
Yeah.
about. But then I just got left with
Exactly.
this item I don't use anymore.
Yeah.
And so, but to your point, if you want to zig while everyone else is zagging, great tour to do it. You know, there
Yeah.
are tours like city tours where it is great to
Right, those
to
all
go for.
city tours, yeah, sure.
Yeah, so this is a great tour to go for a top 100. Zig while everyone else is zagging, especially now that they fixed the shrooming issue. So and things
get
probably go
started on
back
that
to
one.
normal. Yeah, no, I seriously am so glad that they did it just before this tour. But that great solid point. Well, there you go, guys. If you have not yet liked this video, please do so. If you haven't subscribed, we'd love to have you as a subscriber. Also, I think our memberships, that's where I have the most fun, and that's what keeps me going. That's why I spend my time doing surveys, and the rundown, honestly, is just for the community and making sure that everyone has what I know. I had a lot of people reaching out like, hey, when's the rundown coming? I'm like, hey, we're going to try. It's a Saturday afternoon. I'm probably going to get in trouble for doing it with the family, but here it is. We want to get it for you. But thank you guys very much for tuning in. Thanks again for your support. Hopefully you enjoy the winter time. Hopefully you enjoy time with your family during this Christmas holiday time. Enjoy the break that we have away from work and everything. Just snuggle, have some hot cocoa, and, sing some holiday-related music. But again, thank you guys very much. It's been an absolute pleasure this year, and I look forward to doing the award ceremony with you, Antelev, and Kart Life and Carlos 85 on Tuesday. Looking forward to that. Hopefully, we'll be premiering there later next week. So, thank you guys. Until next time, may the friends of luck be with you. See you guys.